Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It is 7:31 according to my computer, so let's get going. Um, Welcome. Again, my name is Craig Peterman, PDP for the state of Wisconsin, the FLL program, and I'm pleased to almost officially announce Emily Luffy as co-PDP. I guess Emily's got her last meeting with First tomorrow. Is that their last meeting? Well, anyway, we hope it is. So Emily will be helping us guide through this maze that we're all going to have to get through together. Um, so we do have the rest of the brain trust here, with the exception of Allison. So we got Jay Church, head referee, Brian Farrell, and Brian Hicks, our two head judge advisors. All right. So before we jump into the big topic of the evening, which is, of course, the changes coming to the FLL program, congratulations to the 30 teams that competed at our state championship. At least the feedback I got. Maybe nobody wants to hurt my feelings, but at least the feedback was pretty positive. Great venue. Um, and for those of you that aren't aware, we did a couple changes to the scheduling. Instead of a practice run, every run was official, and we gave the teams 5 official runs. So the feedback on that was great. We used all 4 of our inflatable screens, so it made for a pretty cool environment at Sun Prairie West. We do have 10 teams that are able to travel. It was originally 9. We got one more bid from A-Rock in Newark, New Jersey. So now we will have 10 teams traveling and participating, representing our region in postseason events. So that's kind of where the unearthed season is. And now we will move into the bigger issues of what is FLL going to become, and specifically, what is it going to become in Wisconsin. So here are the ground rules as I see them for this particular evening. You, as coaches, thank you for participating, being here. You have every right to ask every question that you want. I am giving you the heads up that we will not be prepared to answer. I won't say any of them, but let's just say most of them. Unfortunately, this rollout is coming in pieces, and a lot of the pieces they give us don't come with a whole lot of detail. So please ask the question. We will compile a list, and we will get those questions answered. They have to be answered before the season starts anyway, but please come with the expectation that we're not going to have all the answers tonight, and likely not at the next meeting either. So what the plan is to continue to have these Zoom meetings. We'll stay with our Monday 7:30 time. As you came in, you probably heard it is being recorded, so we'll put it up on our YouTube channel as well, so you can guide people there if they are unable to make it to the actual Zoom call. The other quote unquote rule for the meeting is, I mean, part of what we're doing here is trying to get the most accurate information to you as quickly as possible, when it's meaningful. Not every detail, of course, but I am very concerned. We are very concerned about a lot of information that's floating on various Facebook pages, websites. I mean, social media in general. As it pertains to Wisconsin FLL, the most accurate and timely information you're going to get is from these meetings, which actually will be preceded by information coming through the weekly newsletter. So if you have anybody who wants to stay current with what's going on in Wisconsin FLL, get them signed up to get the weekly newsletter, and then that will also indicate when we're having our next Zoom meeting to discuss all the new information that's coming out. All right. So I think those are easy enough ground rules. Again, do we want to make this a discussion? Get your questions answered. It just might not be tonight. So I have some broad comments, and then we'll dig into a little bit of what we know. And the broad comment is, why? first is very vocal that this is the biggest change they've had in the program in the last 30 years, which I think means ever. And so the question is why. Now, based on the information that I've seen, um, Emily's seen most of it, if not all of it as well. I think what they're trying to do is simplify the program so that more teams can participate, more kids can participate, and there seems to be a focus on the classroom. Not that they're trying to exclude clubs and after school activities, but if they can successfully get into the classrooms as part of the actual curriculum, they're making the bet that they can expand the program and the reach exponentially. It's a big gamble, it's a big risk, but they seem to think it's going to work for the benefit of everybody. You'll see in the materials again and again, and this is all high level stuff that's already out there. They want a single teacher to be able to take on three, four, as many teams as they possibly can, but it won't be the same effort needed under the current program. They should be able to take on more teams, and that's because they're going to provide additional resources, specific curriculum that my understanding is going to actually match with the standards that the education system now uses. So, for those of you that are teachers on this call, again, I haven't seen any of this. I'm merely telling you this is their thought process from a very high level of how they're going to make it easier for teachers. Um, so that's kind of the broad overview of why. There's also, of course, the technology changes, and we'll talk about some of that as we get into some of the bigger topics with the robot and so on and so forth. Let me take a breath. Any questions, big picture? And Emily, please, if I miss anything, feel free to jump right in. All right, so let's jump into some broad program changes. For those of you that have Discover programs, that's currently K through second grade. This is the last year of the Discover program. They will automatically be moved into the like the new computer science AI kit for the whatever the age group is, the younger age group, which would basically be the Discover program. So again, that's ending. Thank you, Emily. K through two. So that's ending after the Unearthed season. The Explore and Challenge divisions will apparently cease to exist. It will be just be FLL, and that's going to be grades third through eight. Um, there's still going to be the core values component. There's still going to be an innovative project component. However, changes to those components right now are a mystery. So they have not revealed those to us yet. I'm anxiously awaiting to see how those come about. So those are some major changes that are coming down the pike. The As far as challenge, the current Spike Prime system I'll refers to as the Founders program, and then the new computer science AI Lego system that's considered the Futures program. So when they come out with all their branding materials, you'll know Founders is the legacy, Futures is the new program that everybody will get to. The bad news for those of you that bought Spike Prime robots recently, I did ask specifically, is there anything going to be done with those teams that did that? And the answer was, in a nutshell, no, but you will be able to use those robots and the learnings for the next 2 years in Wisconsin Lego competitions. We will be running, I don't know how this is going to work yet, but this is on the agenda. We are going to be running two programs simultaneously, but at separate events. First has specifically asked that we not run a founders event at the same time venue as a futures event. All right. So, how we're going to navigate that, I don't have an answer for you yet. But as we learn more information, we will obviously share it. We've got all summer to figure that part out, right? All right. Um, the
Sorry, this
game
is
release.
Melissa.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I do have a question. Did I hear you and understand you correctly that really the Discover and Explore programs will be going away and we will only have Challenge and that level will start at third grade and continue like till what grade?
Well, eighth grade.
Okay.
So, yes. So, Discover is sunsetting this year. And then third through eighth grade will all be on the, well, eventually, they've got a 2 year transition period. Will eventually all be on this new computer science AI Lego program.
And so no
Yes.
more Explore either, essentially.
Well, actually, no more challenge either. It's just one program, FLL, First Lego League.
Okay. Okay. But starting at third grade, so there's really nothing for kindergarten through second.
Well, there is, it's a separate Lego, robot system. It's at the website. If you go to education.lego.com, you can see the systems that are going to be offered to teams.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yep, no, not at all. I mean, it's not entirely clear on the Lego website exactly how that process is going to work. They're just showing you what these new systems are. The registration process right now is unknown because in order to get the new robot, I think you have to be registered, but we don't know. Anyway, lots of questions to be resolved before the season starts. To be sure.
Sorry, Craig,
Uh,
just a
yeah.
clarifying question. Sorry, I thought I was under the understanding that like K through second grade would also be within FLL. Like they were just all within one FLL, as opposed to separating it between Explore and Challenge. From my understanding, it was that it was just one FLL from
Okay.
K to like they're combining Explore and Challenge was my understanding.
Okay. I mean, you could very well be right. I guess the distinction I was
Yeah.
making is that the events that we're going to be planning would not include the K through 2 group. That there, and again, that could be a moving target as well. So um, we will get clarification as we continue to go through this process. Um, the game release is still going to be in August. As I mentioned, we're going to have founders and future tracks, if you will, um, separate events. And one thing that I don't, anyway, it's on one of the blog posts. The recommended team size for FLL is now 8. They say anything between 4 and 8 works just as can work just fine. Um, of course, my question is, well, what about the teams with 3 or 2 or 9? So, again, trying to anticipate some of the real world coaching questions. I don't have answers to those yet. We don't have answers, but we're going to try and figure that out. Um, so that's kind of the general, high level season structure issues. Any questions about that before we get into the robot issues and robot game? All right.
One quick question.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
you for the recommended team size of 8, that'll be for the FLL future version, not like for the legacy one, the one we have today. The team size can still span the full up to 10 students. Is that your plan?
Uh, I'll agree with the first part of your statement. The recommended team size of 8 does apply to the future program. I
Hmm.
do not know if they're going to change the team size to the legacy founders program.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. and you'll see why in a second why they're going with 4 and 8. There is a logical reason for that, but of course there are real world issues to deal with. That 4 and 8 may not be the proper number. All right. Anything else before we jump into the Lego Spike Prime robots and the robot game? Is there anything in the chat, Jake?
No.
Okay, very good. All right, let's move on. Lego Spike Prime. Obviously, that was a sore subject when the press release came out and blindsided a lot of people, myself included. Um, the bottom line is you coaches will not be able to purchase a Spike Prime after June 30th this year, which by default means any new team after June 30th is going to have to buy into the computer science AI robots from Lego. They won't have a choice. Unless, of course, they go to the secondhand market, which I guess is perfectly fine. And then, of course, the events will be separated. And part of the reason they're separated is because the Spike Primes simply will not work on the new robot game, the future robot game. So, whereas before, if you just went from an EV3 up to a Spike Prime, it made no difference. You still got to use the same functionality, and um, the robot missions could be accomplished equally the same. Or some even argue the EV3 was better, but we'll leave that for another day. Because of the way of the technology, the new missions in the future game, the Spike Prime just will not be able to work with it. So they will not be selling them after June 30th, 2026. That's this year. They will be supported through June 30th, 2031. So if you use it for other purposes, not just FLL, it still has a shelf life for support through 2031. It just won't be usable in FLL starting in the 2028-29 season. So if you just bought it, I'm sorry, I don't have a recourse. There's no plan from first to subsidize, reimburse, or otherwise let you change your mind. But you do at least get to use them for 2 seasons. Sorry, small consolation, I know. Um, and then, as mentioned earlier, we'll be running separate events, founders events, future events. All right. The new robots. Did somebody put the website into it's the education.lego.com. And then if you look under the menu, computer science and AI, that will give you your new robots, your new kits. And they offer it. One kit is for 4 students. You can buy the quote unquote class pack. So because we're moving to a more classroom type environment, not to exclude after school programs and clubs and everything else, but you can buy 6 kits for 24 kids, all in one swoop. Now it's interesting; they don't even give you a price discount on that, but I do believe that you get a few extra bricks or maybe another bell or whistle with the larger pack. Those of you that have worked with the class pack before through first, that's going away as well. Everything is going through this new computer science AI robot design. So there are some cool things with the new robots, and you'll see it as part of the way the game is rolled out. The robots are actually now run by 4 kids. There's 4 defined roles. One's a driver, one's an operator, a technician, and a specialist. So, of course, my first question is, can you run it without 4? Do you need all 4? And, I haven't seen the answer to that particular question. But that's the way it's currently designed. So if you have 4 kids driving one robot, operating one robot, and 4 kids operating another robot on the same table, spoiler alert, there's a little alliance going on here. You've got 8 kids working around a single table. All right. So I'll discuss that a little bit more with a couple more details ahead. So the matches are still expected to be 2.5 minutes. I mentioned the four participants, the positions on the with the robot: driver, operator, technician, and specialist. And as I just kind of alluded to, the games will be semi-cooperative matches. That's the word that first uses, so I just took it. What that means is there will be two robots on the same table. The extent of their cooperation, working together, the alliance, that I do not know. That won't be revealed until we get some demo, well, a sample kit, I guess. Um, but there will be some level of cooperation on the same table. Because we have 8 kids around the table, I'm pretty confident saying the two tables are no longer going to be adjoined. They'll have to be separate in order to get enough kids and referees around the table. So that will be a interesting detail that we will have to work through in our competitions in the future games. The two mats are, when I say two mats, they're joined together to basically fill up the entire table. So it's 50-50 mat. But I don't know if it's Velcro, just to say it is for now. You Velcro them, snap them together, and now they cover the entire table. There is no more home area on the sides of the table, and I'm not even sure if there's a launch area. I don't think there is, but I don't know that to be true. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. So, um, I had mentioned earlier about the Spike Primes will not work with the new mission models in the futures program. Apparently, there are already going to be hardware and mechanisms embedded in the actual missions. And so I don't know exactly how that impacts building the mission sets. We will find out all together when the mission sets become available. But that's part of the reason why um, why the Spike Prime is not compatible with the new missions, because it can't communicate with the missions. So, as you may have concluded from the four roles driving the robot, the first one I mentioned was a driver. With the Futures Edition, the kids are going to be driving the robot on the tables with a joystick, game controller, some mechanism that will allow them to move the robot, move the attachments, so on and so forth. So no longer is it pushing a button and having everything pre-coded, autonomous mode, off it runs. It is now expected to be a live match and controlled by the kids. So um, that's a lot right there. Let me pause and take any questions, thoughts,
There's,
concerns.
there's a question in the chat.
Yep.
Has first described what the gameplay would be like for 5, 6, 7, or 8 team members. Will the team members be able to trade roles, or will the other team members just watch?
So the 4 members that are at the table are expected to finish to be the only members participating in that 2.5 minutes. However, you are able to switch out kids for subsequent runs. So it doesn't have to be the same 4 kids every time.
So I guess I'm still struggling to wrap my head around this. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something, Craig. Are we going to have literally like third graders competing and doing the same type of robot match as eighth graders?
It's an excellent question. At the moment, it appears so, but I don't know. I don't know. Because even on the Lego website, they break out 2 different robots that you can buy. One is for
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
what's the split? 3rd through 5th grade, and then the other one's 6th through 8th grade.
Mhm.
So I honestly, I don't know. Are we going to have two separate futures events,
Greg,
third through fifth and
I,
sixth through eighth, or is it all going to be one? I don't know.
I'm looking at a
I don't
splash
know.
screen, just kind of in these, and they have them as K through 2 and then 3 through 5 as it looks like they kind of do different things. Like under events, it says K through 2 and 3 through 5, and then some things are just K through 2, and it looks like the coding loops, they're breaking out K through 2, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and then conditionals 3 through 5, 6 through 8. But some things are K2 and 3, 5, but not 6 through 8. So again, I obviously we don't know, but
Sure.
there is a splash screen that has specifically K through 2 and 3 through 5, but does not have 6 through 8. Whatever. So
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
and I don't know how to tell you how to get. Oh, I know. So off of that link, I it says basics, hardware, events, and if you hit events and then go down, there's just some splash screens and just follow them along, and it has the different some stuff. I am not exactly sure what I'm looking at. It's the first time I've ever seen it. So
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think a lot of this is being inferred right now, so
yeah,
we have to wait
Yeah.
for more clarification.
but I mean, but to me, just because they did isolate the K2 and 3, 5, but not 6, 8, it does to me. I'm obviously not going to say that's how it is, but there's
It's
some
also-
separation.
It's also
Somewhat.
really not clear because I think they also are still waiting for more information on the Lego education sets through the higher grades.
Sure.
The rollout is also different for the future edition Lego sets based on the age groups. So I think first is also waiting for more information.
Just winging
That
it
makes
as we go.
Yeah, because there's also a different rollout for each age
Sure.
range of the Lego Education Computer Science and AI kits. And so I think they have a little bit more information on some versus the others, and it's probably going to be evolving as we go on, as they get more information as well.
Okay. Thank you, Emily.
Don't worry, Melissa. You're not missing anything.
I wish I could be more like, I wish I could give you all the answers. I really do.
No, it's
No,
okay. I think we're all learning in this together. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the way I would roll out a new program, but we don't have much of a choice, right? We got to work with what we have. So, um, anything else? Some dates to be aware of as far as information. Uh, so the first live demo, I believe, is going to be at Champs. So our two Wisconsin representatives, Build and Alpha Geek, will have to take copious notes and lots of pictures to help the rest of the Wisconsin community piece this all together as well. Then there is the Partners Conference that is in early June. They will have obviously fields and demos, and there will be I'm quite sure, a very healthy Q&A session. Probably will last 2 or 3 days of the conference. And so hopefully, or I should say, I expect to come back with a lot of answers. Emily is going as well, and quite possibly another of the Brain Trust will join us. So that's early June. And as I mentioned earlier, as we get a critical mass of new information, we'll have another Zoom call, likely a Monday night, and continue to spread the information as we get it. So earlier I had mentioned, if people want to stay in touch, make sure they're paying attention to the newsletter. The newsletter also will have a link to a BadgerBots website that we are building that is going to start accumulating all this information and future links. So I know I hate to send you one place and then links to 5 other places, but unfortunately, that's kind of the way this is going to roll out. So at least you can start at Badger Bots and then from there, explore the program as we all are. Again, I would stay away. I don't want to say stay away from social media, but please use it, with discretion. There's a lot of rumors and innuendo out there. Um, and just because it happens in New Jersey or California, it doesn't mean it's going to apply to Wisconsin. So be careful with how you interpret what's going on in other places.
Hey, just one more find as I'm going through here. The kits that they have, again, take this for what it's worth. The K2 kit, the 3 through 5 kit, and the 6 through 8 are different kits. Actually, they're different prices as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I looked at the model or the actual, if you look at the picture for the 3 through 5, it's part number 45621, and 6 through 8 is a different number and a different price. So yeah, I'm not going to say one way or the other, but it leads me to believe it's separate somehow. Maybe separate but equal. I don't know. I don't know if somehow the programs come together or whatever, but they definitely do look like there's definitely a delineation.
Two questions in the chat. Do you know which kit will be used for challenge? Will it be the 6 to 8 kit or a different set?
Well, it's going to be either the 3 to 5 or the 6 to 8 set.
Okay.
And just even backing up, challenge will not exist in the future program. It's just FLL. Little detail, but nonetheless. My understanding is you'll be able to buy either.
If it's helpful to the group when we're at Worlds, we'll try to get zoom in on the mission models on the table, because that should give you an idea of how many of your motors and other sensors will be taken up by the models themselves. My intention is to get full pictures of both the legacy table and the new stuff. And if there's an opportunity for us to play with the new stuff, I'll send Jonathan, who's actually a referee, to go play with it if he's allowed to do that. So I'm hopeful that between Kim and I, we can get enough useful pictures for the group so that we don't all waste money on these new kits or make the educated decision to finish off our FLL careers with what we've got. So if there are particular questions that you guys have that we might be able to collect in a certain spot, we can certainly do our best to give you visual help in your decision making, because I know these kits are expensive for many of our districts.
Well, speaking of costs, anybody that crunches the numbers, first is, and Lego is suggesting that a team of 8 should have 2 robot kits. Well, if you add that up, that comes to over $1,000. That's considerably more than buying one Spike Prime. So, yeah, the numbers game is extremely important.
Yep. Okay, continuing with the questions. I know I'm getting way ahead of the situation, but with the way Wisconsin is going to run, both will there be advancement to the international comp for Sprike, so funders, and to advance what you have to run the future program?
So the answer from first so far is there will be advancement opportunities down both paths. It does not have to be just the futures. So how we actually are going to implement that, I do not know. We will be discussing that and figuring that out as more information comes to surface. I mean, one of the issues we're going to have as an organization, as the Brain Trust, is how many Wisconsin teams are going to sign up for the futures, and how many are going to stay with the Founders Program. And let's just say we only have brand new teams that go into futures because they have to. Well, how are we going to coordinate events for them versus everybody else that stays back in Founders? Anyway, we can slice this 1,000 different ways, but there's still a lot to figure out before the season starts. The
Yep.
short answer to the question is yes, we expect to have paths to advancement in both programs.
Okay. Next question. They're piling up in the chat, so I'm going to keep going here. From the tournament director's perspective, is there anything we should be expecting to plan for when it comes to this coming season?
Uh,
Flexible?
yeah, right. Well, again, depending on the numbers, what we may have to do is figure out who's going to run a futures event, who's going to run the founders event, how are we going to keep it geographically diverse so that every team kind of gets a relatively close opportunity to participate. So yeah, the answer is hang tight, be flexible, and well, I promise we're going to let you guys know, especially the tournament directors, as soon as we have some concrete plans for how we're going to execute the season. The directors will be the first to know.
Yep. Next question. Is there any indication of what the first registration costs for Legacy and Future Edition? The founders and
I
Future.
know. Emily, did you come across anything about registration costs?
They have not said anything about registration costs, and I have asked them. So that's been submitted to the pool of questions that we have
Okay.
asked them and that they have not responded back about. But we will let you know as soon as we do.
Yeah. There was some very vague description of we are looking at ways of easing the burden during this transition, but that's about as vague as you can get, and that's what we got.
But we are also looking into alternative ways. So we're trying.
And by we, Emily is referring to Badger Bots.
Yeah.
Not first.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. What is the AI component? Do we understand what this means yet?
The short answer is no. And in fact, during the first year of the Futures program, the AI components will not be used.
Oh,
So I guess that means they'll be slowly rolled out in the second year. I don't know.
Okay. How long will we run Founders?
Founders will be run for the next 2 years. That's it.
Also, will Lego run an Explore program next year under Founders, or will that sunset?
I come again. Will Lego run what?
Explore. The
No.
Explore program.
Well, no. So the Explore Challenge distinction is going to
go away.
go away after 2 years. It's just going to be FLL, First Lego League, of course.
But will there be
So,
Explore in Founders is what the question is.
oh,
Next
for
season.
founders. So, are we going to have festivals next year for the Founders Explore program? I do not know. If at all we can pull it off, we will. We'll see. For whatever reason, this year Explore numbers are down rather substantially, not just in Wisconsin, but across the other partners that I've talked to. So nobody really has a good explanation other than budget cuts, which is real. I get it,
Yeah.
but yeah, which would be tragic because now we're raising the price of executing this program.
So just for Explore program, I will run a festival and I will share my notes to whatever teams still want to do Explore. And if you want to be part of the Brookfield Festival, I will find a way for you to be part of that festival.
Thank you.
It is
There we go.
almost impossible for all of us with like 40 kids in the program to afford it. So feel free to reach out, but at least in Elmbrook, it's going to happen. And if there needs to be a virtual component, we will figure it out.
Thank you, Jen. I run Explore in Brown County and I have 70 kids that participate in it. So this is, obviously going to affect them too. So
Yeah, we will find a way. I have kids from 2016 till now. We will find a way to make use of our kids.
thank you. Maybe you can throw your info in the chat and we can connect after the call.
Sounds great.
Another good place to find Jen is on the Slack channel, in Slack.
I know this
Okay,
is hard
we are
for
actually caught up
you.
with the questions in the chat.
Okay. Anything else? I mean, basically, right now we have a lot of high level generalities. Hopefully, over the course of the next few weeks, months, we will be putting meat on the bones. And I mean, actually, we have no choice, right? I mean, the season's going to start in August, so we have to have it at least a framework together by then. So, again, to stay in touch, weekly newsletter. We'll have the periodic Zoom calls when we have material updates and BadgerBot's website, which will have links then to all the other, perhaps, first websites, blogs, and whatever else they're putting together, as well as other relevant things that we find.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something else in the chat.
Yeah, one more question came in. Do you know if Lego has a plan to introduce other programming languages, examples Python or C, or will it be blocks only in future edition?
I don't have an answer for that one. I believe, well, they seem to be promoting a lot of coding. I'm a little bit confused by that because a lot of the coding is actually being taken away. So maybe there's obviously parts that I don't fully understand yet. So I don't have a good answer to that question yet, but we can certainly find out.
And for the record, I am keeping all of these questions to save so that we can answer them in the future.
Right.
I know this is hard on all of you, so thank you for the research and the time and trying to figure it out for all of us too. So thank you for giving us the info as much as you can and keeping us in the loop. Appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thank you. I mean, look, we all want this program to succeed. So, despite first effort to get in our way, so thank you.
Thank you. We'll look forward to more updates. Thank you so much.
Yep. You bet, Melissa. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So if no other questions, we'll call it an evening. And we'll be in touch as soon as reasonable. Reasonable. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.